Hey guys, I wanted to go over number 9 in your homework from yesterday. We have to find the values of x for my triangle, what my value of x could possibly be, but they're also telling me up here that my angle J is less than K and it's less than L, which means L is my biggest angle. So if L is my biggest angle, that means 21 has to be my biggest side. So I can't have anything that is greater than 21, right? 21 has to be my biggest side. And then I know that K is my middle guy, and I know angle J is my smallest, so across from that, that means 9 has to be my smallest. So this is because of that right there. The side length that it could possibly be, it has to be greater than 9, so it's bigger than this guy, but less than 21. Okay, now I want to figure out what values it could be to actually make a triangle. So to make a triangle, I'm going to have to find my range, which means I'm going to take my difference and I'm going to take my sum. So when I subtract 21 minus 9, I'm left with 12 less than x less than 30. So I have to compare these two now. Again, this is my range if I'm following this, that J is my smallest angle and L is my biggest angle. So I know my small angles across from my small side. And this is the range in order to make a triangle. So looking at both of these, I have to figure out, okay, how can I combine them so that I satisfy both of them at the same time? So if I pick 9, 9 wouldn't work to make a triangle. So I can't use 9. I also can't use 10 because it wouldn't satisfy this guy. I can't use 11, but I can use 12. And then for my upper bound, well, I can't use 30 because if I use 30, that would mean that this guy here is bigger than my biggest side. So I can't have it be 30. I can't have it be 29, 28. That means that my biggest side here has to be 21. So this is my answer. Now, if that's confusing for you, you can also try doing a number line here. So if I had a number line, and I have, let's just say I'm going to start from 9. So 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to skip a bunch of numbers here. And I'm going to go all the way to 21, 22. I'm going to skip a bunch of numbers and go to 30. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have those numbers in here. So I know between 9 and 21 is my first range, between 9 and 21. So right here, 9 and 21. And I know the second range that I could go through is between 12 and 30. So between 12 and all the way to 30. Well, where do they both overlap? Where is it that I satisfy both of these guys? That's going to be right here, where they both get satisfied, and that's going to be between 12 and 21. So that's another way to look at it if this was a little bit confusing. For the next problem, I want to set up the same way, where I'm going to look at my J has to be my smallest angle, which means opposite of J, this guy right here has to be my smallest side. So I'm going to get 20 minus x as my smallest, that's across from my J. The next guy is going to be K, so that's going to be this side. And then it's going to have to be where L is my biggest, so I'm going to get my 12 plus x. Okay, so my triangle inequality theorem, I have to check that my two smaller sides, which are going to be these guys, my two smaller sides have to add to be bigger than my third. So let's check that here. I'm going to get 20 minus x plus 15 has to be greater than 12 plus x. And this is by my triangle inequality theorem, right? So I have to check that two sides are greater than the third. So now I'm going to solve this. I'm going to combine like terms, and I'm going to get 35 minus x is greater than 12 plus x. I'm going to add x to both sides, and I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So I'm going to get 23 is greater than x. I'm just going to flip these around so my x goes first. So x is less than 23. It's the same thing, just the opposite way here. Oops, I'm sorry, 2x. And so when I divide everything by 2, I get x is less than 11.5. All right, but then I also have to check that 15 is greater than my smallest. The medium guy is greater than my smallest guy. So let me check that one. So I'm going to do 20 minus x less than 15. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and I get negative x less than negative 5. And if I divide by a negative 1, remember when you divide by a negative, your inequality flips, and so you get x is greater than 5. And then I also want to check that 15 is less than my biggest side. So this has to work as well. So 15 is less than 12 plus x. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides, and I get 3 is less than x. Yeah, I'm going to flip these guys so my x goes first. So here, I know that x has to be greater than 3 or x has to be greater than 5. So which one satisfies both? If I say x greater than 3, if I have it be 4, it wouldn't satisfy this guy. So I know I can't use that, and I know x has to be greater than 5. So that is where my lower bound comes from. Now again, if that's confusing, we can do our number line here. So if I were to have a number line, and let's just start with, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip some numbers here and go all the way to 11.5, since those are numbers that I'm looking at here. I want x to be greater than 5, so it's going to go this way. I want x to be greater than 3, and I want 11.5 to be greater than x, this way. So now where do they all overlap? That would be right here, where I get 5 is less than x less than 11.5.